The sun-baked Kalahari Desert in southern Africa is unforgiving. The scorching dry earth punishes any slight biological miscalculation. Struthio camelus, the common African ostrich, dominates this landscape. He is the savanna's towering, 300-pound Avian Defender. He is currently enduring a grueling desert incubation period. Eight giant cream-colored eggs rest beneath his dense feathers. Each shell holds 2,000 calories of pure protein. That is a glorious all-you-can-eat wild savanna buffet. Mellivora capensis, the infamous honey badger, approaches the nest. He is the ecosystem's most relentless grumpy mammalian raider. Badgers possess thick dermal shields resisting stings and bites. They also possess absolutely zero biological common sense. He smells those glorious eggs baking in the dirt. The badger begins his entirely exposed, highly audacious stalk. This is a terrible tactical decision by the mammal. The ostrich discovers a small black and white intruder on the ground. The giant bird fluffs his dense black plumage defensively. He emits a deep, hollow, terrifying booming drum call. This massive male ostrich clears his throat. The grumpy badger just hisses back with extreme prejudice. This nest raid defies all basic laws of physics. A 30-pound weasel challenges a 300-pound bird. Grab your popcorn, evolutionary math is about to break. The ostrich unleashes his primary evolutionary biological weapon. A massive two-toed foot swings with bone-shattering kinetic energy. It packs a staggering 500 PSI of force. A huge cloud of dusty Kalahari dirt explodes upward. Any normal mammal would be instantly reduced to jelly. But the honey badger simply accepts it. His loose dermal shield absorbs the devastating blunt trauma. The grumpy little tank aggressively shakes off the dirt. He resumes his hilariously persistent, terrifying animal frontal assault. The frustrated bird loudly stomps the hard-cracked earth. It is psychological warfare on a desperately open plain. The badger strategically snaps his powerful bone-crushing jaws. He targets the vulnerable scaly legs of the defender. It is a deadly dance of furious avian gymnastics. The ostrich burns massive calories, missing his swift target. This ridiculous spectacle catches the attention of local opportunists. Lupulella mesomelis, the black-backed jackal, suddenly arrives on scene. Two of these canine scavengers nervously trot into view. Jackals are the savanna's professional, uninvited dinner guests. They play a vital ecological role cleaning up carcasses. They lurk 10 yards away, licking their chops eagerly. Above them, Mellivora canorus, the pale chanting Goshawk watches. This silent avian predator waits for fleeing small rodents. The entire food chain is now watching this madness. The ostrich spins wildly to face the two jackals. The badger uses this brief canine distraction to lunge. He dives furiously toward the giant Caloric prize. But avian reflexes are remarkably faster than mammalian greed. The giant bird instantly pivots, creating a feathered wall. He violently kicks dirt directly into the badger's face. The temperature rises as golden hour bathes the battlefield. Thermoregulation becomes a serious issue for all combatants here. The Goshawk gets bored and gracefully flies away unseen. This is an animal that does not know how to quit. Spending more energy risks experiencing absolute biological exhaustion here. Even a fearless badger knows when bankruptcy is imminent. The victorious ostrich proudly settles over his pristine eggs. Struthio camelus proves that size and physics still matter. The Kalahari Desert tests the extreme limits of audacity. Relentless predatory confidence met towering physical superiority today. It is a perfectly balanced, deeply humorous survival loop. Nature remains an awe-inspiring, utterly brutal theater of life. The wild earth truly is a spectacular, crazy masterpiece. Welcome to Queensland in northern Australia. Here lies the ancient Daintree rainforest. It spans 1,200 square miles. This biome is extremely ancient. It is 100 million years old. Survival demands brutal biological perfection here. High humidity fuels dense vegetation growth. The Boyd's forest dragon clings tight. This micro-reptile is an insectivore. Cold blood dictates its daily survival. But giants rule the muddy waterways. Behold, the apex saltwater crocodile predator. Crocodilus porosus dominates this estuarine zone. Crocodilus porosus dominates this estuarine zone. This male measures 16 massive feet. He weighs over 1,000 pounds. Algae camouflages his dark green scutes. He regulates his immense reptilian metabolism. His heart beats twice per minute. Pale yellow eyes scan the surface. Sensory organs detect microscopic water ripples. On land, a different giant wanders. The southern cassowary approaches the water. She is a flightless mega herbivore. She weighs 130 pounds. Her cranial casque absorbs solar heat. It functions as a thermal radiator. She is a critical seed disperser. Prehistoric cycad seeds contain toxic compounds. Her gastric acid neutralizes the poison. Digestion allows the cycads to sprout. High above, the forest canopy shifts. Spectacled flying foxes awaken at dusk. They boast a 6-foot wingspan. These bats act as vital pollinators. They spread genetic material across miles. However, leaving the roost brings danger. The spotted-tailed quoll hunts up high. This arboreal marsupial is highly carnivorous. It possesses unmatched relative bite force. Nearby, the massive amethystine python waits. Australia's largest snake uses thermal pits. She senses the bat's mammalian heat. The python strikes with blinding velocity. Coils wrap with bone-crushing pressure. Back at the river, tension peaks. Thirsty bats skim the creek surface. The crocodile calculates the precise angle. His powerful tail generates massive thrust. He breaches with explosive kinetic energy. Jaws exert 3,000 pounds pressure. He instantly secures the frantic prey. He initiates the infamous death roll. This biomechanics marvel wastes 0 calories. The kill sustains the apex predator. Scraps drift down the muddy current. opportunistic scavengers consume the remaining carrion. Ecosystem nutrient cycling is highly efficient. The daintree thrives on these cycles. Every species plays a mathematical role. The crocodile controls the prey populations. The cassowary replants the giant palms. The bats pollinate the canopy flowers. The predators weed out the weak. It is a perfect ecological machine. These animals wear heavy dinosaur armor. True biological perfection does not evolve. It only needs to stubbornly endure. Climate shifts cannot break this balance. The daintree remains a primeval fortress. It demands our absolute utmost respect. Nature here is brutal, yet beautiful. The ancient emerald heart beats on. We are in the Altai Mountains of Mongolia. We are in the Altai Mountains of Mongolia. This harsh Central Asian geography is unforgiving. Jagged shale peaks pierce the thin atmosphere. Survival requires extreme evolutionary adaptation. Meet the apex aerial predator. The golden eagle, Aquila chrysaetos. A massive, scarred female commands this territory. Copper feathers glow on her sturdy nape. Her chipped beak shows years of successful kills. She controls the ecosystem from the sky. Her eyes are 8 times sharper than ours. Two foveae per eye magnify distant movements. She scans the steep yellow tundra below. Our primary herbivore emerges from the rocks. The Himalayan marmot. They convert sparse grass into vital fat reserves. They are the crucial base of this food chain. Enter the Tibetan fox, Vulpes ferrillata. This square-faced predator is a terrestrial competitor. It hunts marmots on foot. The fox patrols the jagged scree slopes. A silent rivalry exists between earth and sky. High above, the ultimate scavenger circles. The bearded vulture, or Gypaetus barbatus. Its ecological role is absolute waste removal. It consumes what others leave behind. Solid bone makes up its entire diet. A stomach acid of 1.0 dissolves skeletons instantly. The vulture waits patiently for inevitable death. The food web is perfectly balanced. Suddenly, a marmot ventures too far. The eagle registers the mistake immediately. She steps off the towering spire. The hunt sequence initiates. She rides a rising thermal updraft. Altitude provides deadly, kinetic energy. The fox notices the shadow and freezes. The marmot stands up to chew roots. It is completely unaware of the threat above. The eagle locks onto her target. The aerodynamic stoop begins. Gravity accelerates her massive frame. She passes 80 miles per hour. Special nictitating membranes cover her eyes. This biological shield prevents wind blindness. She hits 150 miles per hour. She strikes with mathematical precision. Vital organs are crushed instantly. The apex predator secures her hard-earned meal. The the Turil fox retreats into the shadows. It cannot fight the master of the sky. Only bleached bones remain on the rocks. Now, the bearded vulture descends. The cleanup crew finishes the biological cycle. The harsh Altai ecosystem sustains itself perfectly. Every creature executes its genetic purpose. The golden sun dips behind the shale peaks. Mastery of the skies guarantees survival. Freezing winds sweep the barren mountain pass. Here, oxygen is thin, and life is fragile. This is the brutal roof of the world. The Okavango Delta is a vast, flooded paradise. Water brings life to this arid African landscape. But it also creates a deadly labyrinth. Safe havens are isolated by flooded plains. High in the canopy, a troop watches. Olive baboons rule these island sanctuaries. Food here is completely exhausted. They face a terrifying, inevitable choice. They must cross the open marsh. Down below, ancient threats lurk unseen. A Nile crocodile waits in the shallows. Above, an africles silently. The delta is an interconnected web of survival. Every movement is heavily scrutinized. The troop begins their perilous descent. A mother leads the vulnerable group. She tightly clutches her fragile infant. The water is cold and unfamiliar. Terrestrial primates loathe the open water. Their natural agility vanishes instantly here. A mother leads the vulnerable group. A mother leads the vulnerable group. Golden reeds obscure their peripheral vision. They are completely exposed to danger. Hidden nearby, a lethal trap awaits. A pride of lionesses is already positioned. The alpha female tracks the splashing sounds. She is a massive, battle-scarred huntress. Her notched right ear twitches slightly. The ambush is highly coordinated. Felines spread out across the marsh. The baboons wade deeper into the crossing. Panic begins to ripple through the troop. Sudden movement disrupts the golden reeds. The trap springs violently shut. Shrieks of terror pierce the air. The lionesses lunge from their cover. Water explodes under heavy feline paws. The baboons scatter in absolute panic. The mother bolts on two legs. She splashes frantically through the marsh. The alpha lioness locks onto her. The pursuit is relentless and brutal. Distance rapidly closes between them. The mother pushes her physical limits. Every muscle strains against the dragging water. The lioness leaps forward aggressively. She lunges toward a nearby tree. Bark scratches her desperate hands. She pulls herself up just in time. The lioness crashes into the trunk. The infant clings tightly, completely terrified. They are safe in the canopy. But not all were so lucky. The marsh falls eerily silent again. The pride claims a fallen straggler. They drag the prize to dry land. Nothing goes to waste here. The crocodile glides toward the remaining scent. The fish eagle swoops down patiently. Scavengers always collect the grim toll. The food chain remains rigidly intact. The pride eats to sustain their lineage. High above, the troop regroups nervously. They mourn their lost member silently. The delta demands a steep price. Survival is never guaranteed out here. The earth is a beautiful chessboard. but it is also incredibly merciless. One wrong move invites immediate wrath. The queens of the marsh rule absolutely. The golden hour casts a warm glow. Life continues its brutal, elegant dance. The wilderness remains perfectly in balance. Here, survival is forged in chalky white dust. The blistering golden hour brings no relief today. Springboks watch the horizon with nervous anticipation. They know this pale wasteland holds hidden ghosts. Mountain zebras arrive to dig for scarce water. Every step kicks up clouds of suffocating powder. Their striped patterns blur against the shimmering heat. But they are not alone in this desert. A king observes from the dried scrub brush. He is a lean, battle-hardened desert phantom. Hunger drives his calculating yellow eyes forward. He must feed to survive. Another harsh week. The mountain zebra is a formidable, heavy prize. A single meal can sustain him for days. But the risk of this hunt is immense. The The zebra's primary defense is fiercely lethal. Slowly, the apex predator inches closer to prey. The springboks freeze, sensing a shift in wind. A faint scent of death reaches their nostrils. They scatter, leaving the zebras completely exposed. His spiky mane blends with the dead grass. He calculates the distance to the largest stallion. The golden sun dips lower behind the dust. Shadows stretch across the fractured, barren ground. The stallion raises his head, ears swiveling fast. He snorts, striking the hard earth in warning. The lion knows he has been spotted now. The element of surprise is completely gone. Now, it is a game of raw power. A massive cloud of white dust erupts upward. Rhythmic, heavy hooves crack the dry earth loudly. The stallion pivots away from the charging beast. A sledgehammer backward kick flies through the air. The lion drops his weight instantly to dodge. A single misstep here brings instant, fatal trauma. The terrifying whoosh of hooves muffles all sound. The lethal hooves miss the king by inches. He must feed to survive. The stallion violently pulls free, and safely escapes. The dust settles slowly over the empty pan. The lion stands alone, panting in the heat. He gambled his life and lost the meal. Spotted hyenas watch from a safe distance away. They are opportunistic scavengers, waiting for any mistake. Had the kick connected, they would feast tonight. But the king lives to hunt another day. He rests his heavy head on bleeding paws. Every hunt is a deadly roll of dice. A predator is never truly safe from prey. The harsh reality of the desert sets in. The ecosystem demands perfection from its absolute top. The zebras regroup miles across the vast plain. They are survivors of beautiful war. The blinding dust preserves their ancient, wild dance. Night begins to swallow the harsh Etosha pan. The hyenas finally retreat into the deep shadows. The lion finds a high vantage point quickly. His yellow eyes never stop scanning the dark. He respects the brutal strength of the zebra. In this chalky wasteland, arrogance brings swift death. The king must constantly risk his own crown. Here, the hunter can instantly become the hunted. Nature is both incredibly cruel and profoundly fair. The eternal duel of survival simply continues onward. The Sud is a vast floating labyrinth. Dark waters hide ancient, silent killers. Here, patience is the ultimate weapon. A statue stands among the reeds. The shoebill, his theals watches the murky depths. Her slate blue plumage blends perfectly. She does not move a single muscle. Below, a Senegus bichir stirs slowly. The mudfish seeks a fleeting breath. A Goliath heron stalks nearby waters. The heron ignores the deeper shadows. The swamp breeds a heavy silence. Death waits beneath the floating vegetation. The shoebill calculates every subtle ripple. She is a master of the ambush. But she is not alone today. He is thick, muscular, and hungry. The python senses the warm avian blood. He slowly navigates the tangled roots. The mudfish escapes into the muck. The snake has found larger prey. The African rock python tastes the air. He rises silently toward the surface. The shoebill remains frozen in place. Her pale yellow beak points straight down. She detects a shift in the water. The tension builds in her neck. The python coils his heavy body. Wet scales slide over rotting vegetation. The snake prepares a leap. The bird stares into the abyss. Both predators are absolutely motionless now. The swamp holds its collective breath. A single drop of water falls. He launches his massive head upward, fangs bare in a silent scream. She drops her massive, heavy head. Her beak strikes like a guillotine. A brutal, bone-crushing impact echoes out. She pins the tiny python instantly down. The tiny snake thrashes violently in pain. Thick coils whip the murky water. The bird maintains her deadly grip. Her height gives her complete leverage. The python cannot wrap her legs. The struggle is violent but brief. The snake slowly ceases his thrashing. The avian predator has conquered today. She releases the defeated snake cautiously. The shoebill readjusts her ruffled feathers. The heron watches from a distance. Scavengers will soon claim the remains. Nothing is wasted in this wetland. The mudfish returns to the surface. The swamp reclaims its eerie silence. The food chain's perfectly intact. The shoebill resumes her statuesque pose. She is the undisputed queen here. The swamp is a chessboard. It is filled with silent killers. Victory belongs to the patient ones. You must hold your breath longer. You must remain a stone forever. The floating mats hide many secrets. Nature operates with absolute, brutal efficiency. Beauty and violence exist in harmony. The sud keeps its ancient rhythm. The sun sets on the swamp. The statue waits for tomorrow's dawn. She will never abandon her post. The wild remains untamed and pure.